Boys, we are officially a whole week away from UFC 305, Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. And the lead up to this fight, before the fight was announced, while Izzy was champion, a few months after Dricus was champion, there was a huge amount of hype for this fight, especially when Izzy was champion. The whole memes, all the cringy stuff that Izzy was saying, my African brother, I manifested this, all of the cringy stuff that he was saying on the lead up to this fight. It was supposed to be Izzy versus Dricus, but Dricus wasn't able to make a turnaround that quick, so it ended up being Sean Strickland. We all know what happened there. To make the story short, is the hype for this fight dead? Believe it or not, we've already had a press conference for this fight. A very, very forgettable press conference. The vibe I was getting of this fight prior to this press conference was like the Muhammad Moikaev versus Manel Cap. That level of beef, that level of just hatred for each other. But I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't seem like that's actually the case. Seems like we're being maybe a little bit bamboozled here, because it seems like, it's all for show. I don't know. As of recently, it does seem like the hype and just the overall appeal for this fight has gone down tremendously. It was supposed to be the first African fight card. This is supposed to be in Africa. Didn't end up happening. And I'm sure as we get into fight week, like I said, this should be posted on Saturday, so we'll have a full week till it is UFC 305. So we'll have a full week till then. We'll get the press conferences, we'll get some interviews. I'm sure the hype will build back up. We'll get a bunch of cringy lines from Izzy. I'm sure the beef will start to stir back up. I'm sure the hype will come back. But as of right now, we are a week out and there is practically no hype for this card. Yes, this card's good and all. I'm mainly talking about the main event, the title fight, the title implications. I haven't seen much videos being posted about this. I haven't seen people saying they're so hyped for this event. They're so hyped for this main card. I haven't seen much stuff on Twitter. Granted, like I said, we're still a week out. We still have a whole week's worth of press conferences, interviews, stuff like that to build up the hype. But one thing that I'm hoping doesn't happen, we saw it with Manel Cap versus Muhammad Moikaev, where yes, there was beef, but once they got into the octagon, it was almost like fake beef. I don't want any of that. It did seem like there was some real beef between Dricus and Izzy. I don't know where that energy went when they first had their original press conference a few months ago. They were very respectful for one another. I don't want to see that shit, I want to see some bad blood. It's been a hot minute since we've seen a bad blood fight. I want trash talking. I want this to be one of the more anticipated title fights of the year. Right now, if we're judging off their last press conference, we're looking like a snoozer. And yeah, like I said, we're a week out. You guys have to let me know. Are you guys excited for this fight? Because like I said, I've been saying all video, it does seem like the hype has died. You guys have to let me know. Has the hype died in your opinion? We had Izzy going crazy saying, my African brother this, I manifested this, all of this cringy stuff. We have Dricus here also just straight up gaslighting people into saying, I never said I'd be the first African champion. Where did I say this? I love the gaslighting of Dricus Du Plessis, and I can't wait for it to show even more on fight week. And I want to get your guys' predictions now before we get into the fight. Will Israel Adesanya show up to the fight with a left titty? Comment down below, what are the odds? Is there going to be betting sites where you can bet if Izzy shows up with a left titty? Because if there is, I might be betting that, he does show up with a left titty. He has been looking huge as of recently, definitely put on some size. And I hate to say it, but I've seen videos of him training. I've seen stuff he's been posting on social media. It's looking like Izzy's gonna walk through this, man. If you guys have been watching my videos, I'm not the biggest fan of Izzy, but the stars are aligning. It's just written in the stones already. Some bullshit MMA logic, At this point, Izzy's gonna go out and get a first round KO over Dricus. Some bullshit like that. I'm praying that's not what actually happens, but it is what it is. And yeah, to sum up this whole video, did the hype for this fight die out? I would say it did to an extent. Yes, mainly because we're not at fight week. I think fight week is gonna bring that hype back by a landslide. Do I think it's going to be as hyped up as what it was originally supposed to be? Africa against Africa in Africa, the first African pay-per-view event. I don't think it's going to be able to live up to how hyped it was originally, but I do think it's still going to be one of the more hyped up events, especially title fight wise. And yeah, go back, rewatch this video, take a shot every time I said hype throughout this video. And yeah, with that being said, we're on that goal to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys haven't yet, leave a like on this video and subscribe with those post notifications turned on so you never miss any of these new videos. And yeah, there's really not that much else left to say except for I will see you guys in my next video.